question we get a lot, and well, I get a lot anyway, is how much volume should I be doing? And people kind of look at all these studies and extrapolate information from that and kind of think, oh, well, this study says I need to be getting X amount of volume and I need to be doing it twice per week for optimal gains. And to be honest, a lot of that research isn't applicable to the majority of people. And that kind of seems a bit strange because they actually get research participants from a pool of people that probably have the same life stressors, we'll say, as you. Like they're generally college students, so yeah, they may not have the exact same life stresses of you as you if you're in a job or whatever, but they do still have some stress and they do still have some structure to the day that they have to adhere to. So it kind of does apply to you as a whole, or so you would think. However, if you've ever seen these studies being conducted, the training sessions they put them through are not in any way generally set up how you would generally set up a training session. They're also not performed how you would expect a training session to be performed. Like if you got your favorite Fit Pro to look at the technique of these, and even if your favorite Fit Pro is the most genetically blessed person and knows nothing about training, even they'll be able to see and go, okay, that's not really, it clearly looks like bad technique, So a lot of the studies, they don't standardize for technique. Like I actually think, and I know Gary's the same, that all of these studies that talk about training, they should have to put out training videos, as in they should actually have to show the training they put their participants through, because a lot of people then realize that, man, this study is not telling you what you think it's telling you. Because you'll see people go, oh yeah, I need to do 10 sets for this muscle group, and it's like, yeah, that volume is so high in that session or whatever. You really do 10 sets per session. The volume is so high in that because none of those sessions were fully connected with. You're not actually working the muscle, loads of momentum. So the actual tension on the muscle is much lower. Like, yes, it is being targeted. Like, it's impossible to do a bench press and get zero chest activation. Like, unless you are some sort of machine that is built to get no chest activation, So you're always going to get some. However, let's say, for example, a rep lasts 10 seconds. Now, obviously, I know it doesn't. Well, actually, we'll say a set lasts 30 seconds. Okay, your total set. The majority of these training studies have no prescribed tempo, have nothing, no prescribed cueing, no prescribed exercise technique, whatever you want to call it. So the reps are all just done like, boom, okay, momentum, I'm throwing it up, but I'm doing the rep. It's cool, I'm doing it. So we'll say out of that 10 reps they get into 30 seconds, maybe maximally 10 seconds of that is actual full connected tension on the chest. And I'm being generous there, Whereas compare that to someone who goes, okay, cool, this set is going to last 30 seconds. I want those 30 seconds to be excruciating, full connection with the chest muscles, full connection with the technique. It's all perfect and it's slow and controlled, and the results from both of those completely different. So it's a hard question to ask and then answer, how much volume do you need? Because it is specific to your actual needs, first of all, but then also your ability to train. So a good kind of rule of thumb for, I suppose, figuring out if you actually deserve more volume, because that's how you should be thinking of it. You shouldn't be thinking, do I need more volume? It's, do I deserve more volume? Because you should be maximizing the sets you're doing currently before you even think of doing more. If you're just going to add more and more and more as your method of progression, the only way that can go in the future is you're doing 3, 4, 5, 6 hour workouts, and it's like, that's just, it's going to be impossible at some stage. You have to have a life. It's cool, you can get away with your 2 hour workouts now, but it's like, how do you progress from there? Do you go to 2.5 hours, 3 hours. It's like there's going to reach a stage where you just can't go for longer, or you just can't do more. So having that as your scale or your method of progression is pretty fucking terrible. So you have to earn the right, you have to deserve the extra volume, the extra sets. So the way I kind of look at it is, if you're able to do 3 sets of an exercise, and I mean perfect execution, perfect technique, everything is like, for example, squats. When you're doing your squats, not a single millimeter of that range is wobbly, not a single millimeter of it is knees moving all over the place. You know, every single bit of tension in that exercise is on the target muscles, and they feel like they have sunburn by the end of your set. Then you probably deserve more volume. You probably deserve a few more sets. However, you're also going to realize that by actually focusing on doing a little bit less, but doing more in that less, you will actually progress quicker. You know, if you say right now you're doing 20 sets per workout, if I said to you, okay, cool, your workout is only allowed to last 15 minutes. Gun to your head, if you go over 15 minutes, you're done. I'm going to kill you, okay? First of all, what exercises are you picking during that workout? What are the most bang for your buck exercises that you know are going to get you the most return on investment? Also, in that 15 minutes, in that exercise, are you just going through the motions and hoping to get to the end? Like, you're like, okay, cool, I just need it to be over, I need to get my reps in, I'm done. And you're like, is that it? Or are you almost meditative in your execution, setup and everything with those reps? Like, are those reps perfect 100% of the time? You know, if they are, yeah, fuck, all power to you. You will be able to do more volume in the future. But if they're not, that's where you start. Don't be thinking, oh, how many sets do I need to be doing? What's the optimal volume? It's like, it's irrelevant unless you can actually execute that volume with pinpoint accuracy and that 100% focus, you know? So don't be thinking, like, don't lose the forest for the trees and kind of be drawn into that volume and intensity debate, because it is a valid debate, but that is so far down the line for the majority of people that it's inconsequential. The first thing you need to set up is your actual ability to train. And I don't know anyone, and I'm concluding myself in this, I don't know anyone that started out in the gym and just, boom, 100% got it. They had 100% focus on every single set, every single rep, and they just moved from there to there to there. It's just perfectly snowball effect. They were able to do more, and then just more and more, and every single rep they didn't lose focus for the hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of their workout. It was all 100% dialed in. Like, I don't know anyone that's able to do this. So when I see these workouts online and people are like, this is my workout today, and you're like, that workout, if there's any kind of tempo to it, any kind of control to it, that's a 2 hour workout. And then they go, yeah, I get this done in an hour. It's like, okay, like, are you just like throwing to the reps? And like, what are you just trying to get to the end because it says 12 reps on your program, so you're just going to get 12 reps and have no regard for how those reps actually look and how those reps were actually performed, you know? So everything starts with the rep. Every rep should be perfect. Every rep should be 100% intense focus, whatever you want to call it. Like, you should be fully connecting with that muscle. You should be fully connecting with that movement. Then that builds into a set. So if you're able to get that full set of, say, 12 reps, then you've earned the right to progress on to the next set. If you are not even able to get one set with your mind fully on the task, your muscles fully on the task. You don't even deserve 2 sets. So lose the paradigm of, oh, well, this research study says 20 sets is better than 10 sets, or this one's 30 and whatever. It's like, forget about all that. You don't have the right. You haven't earned it. If you're not able to get every single rep perfect and completely dialed in, you aren't able to get a one full set perfect, you just don't fucking deserve more sets. That should be your sole focus. Okay, I can build up to 3 sets of this exercise when I am able to get 1 set fully dialed in. And if you can do that, you can then build from there. But don't lose the forest for the trees and start thinking, oh, I'm going to do X amount of volume because this research study said this, or this person said this. And it's like, you haven't actually mastered the basics. And realistically, you'll see this, you'll see a sway in the way people progress over their training career. You'll see them go, they start out doing like a normal amount of volume, then in the middle of their career, whatever, early 20s, you'll see this, and people are like, oh yeah, I'm hammering volume, doing a shitload of volume, loads, and then it's like, oh, they reach a point where they're like, oh, actually, I realize that I'm just going through the motions with this. As they get older, that kind of levels off, and they're doing a normal amount of volume again, even though they're absolutely destroying themselves, getting DOMs and actually making progress both in strength and physique with the lower volume. And it's like, well, what did you do in this like higher volume phase? And you ask them, and they'll be like, yeah, I wasted my time because I was essentially overtraining because I wasn't actually connecting with the muscles. I wasn't actually maximizing each individual rep, each individual set, each individual session. They were just kind of going through the motions and getting the reps done. And that's not how you progress. You get your rep perfect, you get your sets perfect, and then you progress from there. So with your workouts, your current workout, just assess right now, are you actually fully connected during each session? Are you actually perfectly executing each rep? And are your sets actually at the intensity you think they should be at, or rather they should be at? Just ask yourself that, analyze your program, and just have a little think about, do you actually deserve the amount of volume you have prescribed for yourself or has been prescribed for you?